Hey guys, what's up? It is just Chillin
with Jeremy and Cullen. That was too long to pause, but we're going with it.
So, this is the spoiler talk. Hi, if you're here from the spoiler-free review, or if you found us through the spoiler-free review, thank you for continuing to watch our videos, and
of course, spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert, because this is a spoiler review.
We are going in depth of the Joker movie.
Yeah, and,
in depth.
So, if you want to see our, more serious, I guess, I don't know.
In depth.
No, we definitely, we went over a lot of the broad strokes, so I think this video is definitely going to delve into the more specific, parts of this film, and I think we should start with the same disclaimer as last time.
I'll take it because I said last time. So this movie deals with mental illness, of course, because the main character, Joker, deals with his mental illness, just mental illness in general, and how he laughs at uncomfortable situations. And his mom also deals with mental illness. So we don't know a lot about mental illness, almost nothing. Yeah, little. So what we say is just our thoughts of what we think something resembles, and we're not trying to make fun of mental illness. So if we say anything, we're not trying to make fun of it.
Yeah,
it's just our thoughts, and we apologize if we do anything, but we'll try our best.
I don't think that we will.
But just a heads up.
And so, tackling the controversy, this time we can talk about the controversy in a more spoiler light. So, the controversy, I think, is very much so, not true.
Yeah, but it's also about the violence. It's not true.
Which is annoying, and now I can say it, because there's only about, 5 real scenes where actual violence happens.
But the whole movie in general is disturbing.
But, there's, 5 or 6 scenes of violence, and it's getting flack for so much violence.
Yeah.
But really, it's not that violent. Yeah. And really, a lot of other films
scenes are, when they happen, they are...
And they happen, because the violence happens for a reason. And
and they pick their times to get you.
Yeah, they want you to feel each kill. Mm-hmm. And so...
Or just, even if it's not a kill,
just the violence in general around. I mean,
For example, we were talking about the most violent scene. So what would you say was the most violent scene?
Probably, for me, the most disturbing scene. I don't know, are we going with violent or disturbing?
I feel like that was more violent.
I actually have 2 contenders now that I thought about it more. Probably the ending scene where
it shows him
walking away from the psychiatrist with the blood on the bottom of his shoe, and all you see is the footprint of the blood walking away from the room, and it's a very
disturbing.
It gets your imagination thinking about, what did he do? Why is the blood on his feet?
I mean, you could think about it. It's probably that he killed her with his feet, because he was handcuffed, so he wouldn't be able to punch or anything. So yeah, I'm guessing he killed her with her feet, stomped her to death.
But it's not showing it probably made it worse than he did. And so it's that, or the scene where everybody is rioting in the streets, because it's a different kind of disturbing, because it's not anything necessarily violent.
Because it's not it's not super realistic, I don't think stuff that, well, maybe in the past, maybe something like that.
I think there's definitely foundations as to where that could happen, such as it
was a clown gang. Of course, it's not gonna be a clown gang, but yeah, gangs do cause riots in cities and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so it just feels very real and
because
very
there wasn't
scary.
But they did a good job with it because there wasn't a lot of sound. It wasn't disturbing music. It wasn't it was just barely any sound.
They just let the moment be the moment.
And you just sit there and just have to watch it. That's why it's disturbing, because you have, you're watching.
And it's a great juxtaposition, almost, of your mentality and Joker's mentality in this film, because while you're watching it, you're like, this is awful, I feel so scared, while he's smiling. And I think that's a great show of just how... that you're not supposed to root for him, like the controversy says that this film is trying to make you do.
Yeah, you're not root. Of course, if you're a fan of the Joker, like during the movie, I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
But like I'm not like serious. I'm not like, yeah, go kill some people. Yeah.
I mean, like, and you feel sorry once he chooses to go down that path.
But
Because you know there's no
But like
return.
he's Joker, like he's a fan loved character.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like it's presenting the Joker in this real light. Like if he were real, this is what he would be.
And we were saying because it is placed in the I forget what is it placed in 50s?
No, not even close.
Oh my bad.
You're about 30 years old.
80s.
80s. I believe it was 81 or 85.
And we were saying that even because it's placed in the 80s, it still corresponds to today's world. Like it could take place in today's world.
And I think that transitions us nicely into the script. The script, obviously, as we said in our spoiler-free
But they may
talk,
not have seen that, so
I know. I'm just saying, as we said, for those who have
it was
seen it.
fascinating, amazing, super well written.
Yeah, I mean, it was written by Todd Phillips and Scott Silver, and I mean, these guys just they did their research because you really, for one, the interview scene with Murray. I mean, it wasn't a one-for-one panel recreation of the Dark Knight Returns comic, but you could tell it was inspired by it. And like they did their research. Like for one, in the comic, Joker actually has poisonous lipstick that he then kisses one of the women there and kills her. In this film,
He does kiss.
he walks up and kisses one of the women there to show his confidence. So it's not like there's no reason for it happening. It's like Arthur is this very nervous guy, and so to just go out there on live TV and just kiss her like that, it's almost like showing his confidence, how he's changed now that he's become the Joker. And so they find these ways to really bring stuff from the comics, but do it in a new and exciting way.
Because this version of Joker is not like it's stuff like the comics, but it's not straight from the comics.
Yeah,
It's completely taken. It's pretty much like the director said. It's a guy put into a world that beats him up. It's today's world.
Yeah.
People that get discriminated, people that get beaten up.
And so it's a real story, and
it's a real life Joker, pretty much.
Yeah, and so I have to commemorate the script writers for finding a way to really make him feel real
and hit a point that like people feel like this is real.
Yeah.
Someone could become this crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe not this powerful.
Yeah.
But there are mentally ill people out there that, not even if they're not mentally ill, people can become mentally ill from. I'm not
such
sure.
as this film.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker wasn't born mentally insane.
Yes, because now we can talk about this.
We can. He was abused by his
mom,
father, and neglected from his mother, allowing all these things to happen. She just didn't care. She didn't do anything. And then she handcuffed him to a radiator. And these are things that happen in real life. Actual people do handcuff kids to their radiators nowadays. It's actually an unsettling
topic
rate that it's very real. All these things feel very real, and that's what really makes this film disturbing. I mean, so from that abuse, it caused him to develop this mental illness. So it really,
and that shows how mental illness can come into society also.
It really reflects the theme of the world, the people can make someone that
crazy or mentally ill.
Yeah, and there's one scene, going back into the script and tying it into with like comic references. There's just, it was almost, I think it was like the scene, like a scene or two, maybe three, before he just went full on Joker, where he walked into whatchamacallit, Sophie's apartment.
Yeah,
Sassy Beats' character.
That was disturbing.
That was disturbing for like a
the
different
shot.
reason.
Speaking of, we're not in cinematography yet, but just a shot of it, because in the whole movie, as you've seen or just haven't, or you're just watching it, but he it shows that this girl is his love interest, and that he goes on dates with her. But then it does turn out that it's just in his imagination. He's been talking to no one, but she is a real person.
Yeah. And so when he walks in there, he sits down, and she's just like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, she walks in.
He says one little phrase that's a very iconic Joker phrase. He just says, "I had a really bad day." And it's a callback to Joker's line where he says, "All it takes is one bad day to turn a sane man to lunacy."
And basically, that is true.
That
to be honest.
That is the message that drives this story.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can just tell that these people knew comics and they knew what they were doing.
They
and
knew
why,
today's world.
And they knew.
And they combined them to form this masterpiece.
And they knew which character to choose to really drive home this message that they wanted to tell. So now on to director Todd Phillips. I mean, there's
you can't
not
get
much
better
than the direction in this film. It is
my boy Todd.
It felt different. Like I really
it broke the stereotype of superhero movies.
Yeah, it definitely brings in a new age of hopefully it brings in a new age where we can just have director-driven, like art-driven superhero movies where
there's a fly.
Oh, there's a fly. Where we can just, get that raw, story. Like, this is what they want to tell.
Like,
and
people, so I don't want to fit any, stereotypes, but, say, people that haven't seen any MCU movies and just went to saw Endgame, but they liked the Endgame, they're not going to like this movie, I don't feel. Because, I just feel like they wouldn't know anything about it. They wouldn't know. I don't think they would respect it enough as
Joker.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
So I'm saying, think about it, because people that don't watch superhero movies.
Yeah.
But they just watch Endgame because it's a big event. It deals with Thanos. It deals with lasers. Flying.
I think this film is more directed at the people who don't constantly watch Marvel movies or who haven't seen comic book movies, because this is just a genuinely great film that doesn't need the comics. So I feel no matter what, I feel anybody could.
Yeah,
watch
I'm just saying. I was pretty much saying stereotypical MCU fanboys may not.
We're the stereotypical MCU fanboys.
No, we're not. No, stereotypical MCU fanboys is
like
MCU's amazing. DC sucks.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it took a while.
It did.
But you get my point, hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean, and so, yeah, his direction in this film was it was definitely a message he wanted to make. It was a film that he wanted to make. And just the directions and the way he directed the actors and the next section, the cinematography, the way he did this and worked with the cinematographer who is Lawrence Sher. The last name is spelled Sher.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And,
sure. She should.
So I just the shots were just beautiful. The simplest shots, as we said in the non-spoiler review,
of him just sitting on a subway.
And just the camera panning in on him, just
Also, one of my favorite
taking
ones
it in.
was him with the stairwell.
The stairs.
Yeah, it was a big set of stairs.
Yeah.
And
it appeared a lot in the trailer.
And I do think about that. I do think that's a reference, or it symbolizes something.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
you could tell.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, because when he's Arthur, we only see him walk up the steps, from what I remember.
Yeah,
it's a struggle.
It's him trying to show that even though he's upset, even though he's depressed, that he climbs up these stairs of life to get back to where he was, to get back to home, to keep sane, basically.
Yeah, basically, the stairs are like a struggle for him. He has to walk up these
just
long
like life is
flights
a struggle for him.
Yes, and so when he becomes the Joker, he dances down those steps.
Basically saying, screw life. I'm gonna do what I want.
And so, basically, he just
lets it all go.
He lets it all go, and so they really knew what they were doing when they were filming these shots, and I love things like that. And one thing I realized when watching the film was that shot in the trailer where the Joker smiles and the elevator goes down is actually a reflection of the shot before he becomes the Joker, where he had that bad day and just the hair was all down in his face and he was just angry. And
I do remember the one shot after that when he just stood up, like that creeped me out too, because he just slowly turned. It was just little things. It was really just little things that like wouldn't seem disturbing to me, like if I just saw it, did seem disturbing.
yeah, like these guys, they planned out everything and they knew what to do to make you feel what they wanted you to feel. Now we move on to the actors section, and now we can actually talk about stuff because we felt very restricted during the non-spoiler review. Actors and actresses, it's just a broad term.
Sorry. Gotta be sure.
Okay, so
we're gonna go,
up,
Joaquin Phoenix playing Arthur Fleck and the Joker.
Obviously. Phenomenal job. I mean...
the way he embraces a mentally ill person. For someone who is an actor that's not mentally ill, he plays a character that's mentally ill, that's crazy. A character that's so loved by so many. A character that's like...
This is probably his...
biggest role, you're saying?
Biggest role in the sense that this is probably the role that most people are going to see him in. Because I feel like, you know, certain roles, like, he was in Gladiator, but, I mean, you know, it's...
yeah, like, not many people remember that.
I mean,
I think
a lot of people remember that.
I think this movie will go down as a classic.
I hope. I mean, it's such a powerful film, and Joaquin Phoenix delivers every line
so perfectly.
I mean, it just feels so natural, and it's scarily natural. Like, I mean, like everything he does is just, it's so natural.
You believe he's mentally ill.
Yeah.
Because there was no scene where you go, oh, I can see him acting here.
Yeah.
It was, he just fit the role so well, and he played it so well.
I mean, I don't think I would change anything about his performance whatsoever.
Even just like little things where his tone of his voice.
Yeah.
His laughter. His condition he suffers from where he laughs in uncomfortable situations. The way he laughed, like his laugh was creepy.
And like you could tell,
it was
like,
uncomfortable.
At the end, his laughs were real.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, it's like he tries to force him down, and he's like choking himself,
he's like grabbing his throat, trying to stop himself.
These are all reflections of what he's going through. I mean, like the fact that he's trying to suppress that mental illness, and at the very end, it's supposed to symbolize him letting go. And obviously, I'm not like supporting what he does.
Yeah.
But
we're just talking about the symbolism.
The symbolism of it, that it was like a symbol of him keeping that laughter down, was him trying to force himself to act more sane.
Yeah.
And it's really tragic.
Yeah. Like, but it's just that he just did an amazing job. As we said in the spoiler-free, I think he deserves an Oscar. Colin thinks he deserves an Oscar.
Yeah. I mean,
there was not.
I think this is the best performance I have seen, definitely this year.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it was so.
It was unexpected.
No.
Really?
No, because Joaquin Phoenix is known for being an amazing actor, and everybody thought he was going to do amazing.
I'm tired.
The thing is, it's like just every little thing he does.
And if you critique him, it's nitpicking. Like, it's littlest of things.
Yeah, like
the one
like
scene,
a little callback to the director section. There was a scene where he was dancing.
Like, he kills the 3 people in the subway. He runs to escape because police are coming down.
And he runs into a bathroom and he starts like just dancing. And I'm pretty sure like dancing is almost like a form of escape for him.
Or like calming down.
Yeah. I think it lasted a little bit too long, but that was like it was like
if anything,
like
it was
a few seconds too long to the
like,
point where I was like,
those prestige critics. Oh, I think it lasted a bit 2 seconds too long.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like you really have to like like, and I mean, it's not like you really have to think about it to get that critique. It's like, no, you really have to think about it to get a nitpick. You really have to think about it to pick out those individual things.
When I left the theater, I couldn't stop thinking about how good it was.
Yeah,
Like you just were amazed. It left you amazed.
Yeah, it left you thinking. It left you really, like, just, I mean, thinking, as I just said. I mean, it's hard.
More thinking.
Yeah, more and more thinking. It's just hard to explain the film, really. I mean, it is.
We're trying
so
our
good.
best, but like, go see it. Like, it's a once in a
hopefully
lifetime
you have seen
opportunity.
it, and that's why you're here. So just his performance this film is just amazing.
So
now we're on to like supporting and side characters.
And as they're not that big as Joaquin Phoenix because he's in every shot, every scene.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe like a few shots here and there that he's not in,
Like
but
the
he's
scene,
100%
like just the scene,
in.
like the scene where just the whole city in the subway movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool shot too.
Yeah, I mean, every shot looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a single shot that looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
So on to Robert De Niro as Murray Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
A person that not encourages him, but like nags him on to become Joker.
And I mean, he's a huge part of that equation because Joaquin,
Even though he doesn't really have a physical meeting with him until the very end.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur Fleck looks up to and admires Murray, and
that's his comedian role model.
He almost sees him as the father he never had,
Yeah.
because in the first vision scene where like he's watching the Murray Franklin show,
And then,
he imagines himself like on the show, and like Murray's just this great guy. He accepts him, he brings him on stage,
and then like when the thing ends, he goes, "Yo, I wish I had like a son like you."
yeah, and then
like,
they hug. Like, you really get a sense of how this guy feels about Murray Franklin.
And then to see that he uses his video of him performing at a comedy club to make fun of him, to pretty much use him for, I don't know, for views. To pretty much say.
And to laugh at him instead of with him. And, I mean,
that shot of him staring
at the TV,
like,
just with that hatred in his eyes.
His face there, I was like,
I know, like, you could just see the hatred, the sadness, just so much pain.
It literally looked like his face just kept, like, going down.
It was weird, yeah, like, almost like you saw it going down, but it stayed still.
Yeah, it was
so, I mean, once again, we're talking about Joaquin Phoenix, just the fact that he can do that just by one look, one face, get this whole message across, brilliant. And Robert De Niro, I mean, he isn't in it as much, but
at the very end, I do like when Arthur said, "I did kill these people." Going back to Joaquin Phoenix, talking like he embraced the Joker. When he would talk about killing people and he would just giggle, like he would laugh.
Yeah.
But it would be like an uncomfortable laugh. He would just be like, "Yeah, I killed them."
You know, and Murray it's weird. It's almost like he just keeps going. He keeps prodding. He keeps prying.
He keeps going like, "Oh, what? You think this is funny? Like, why? Like, tell me why'd you do it? Come on, like, tell me."
And I mean, you really see how awful of a person Murray is. And I feel like that's what this whole movie is almost everybody around Arthur is just awful. He doesn't really get that outlet.
The only outlet that we saw was the next actor, his love interest. That's the only character you think, of course, has his back, but then it turns out, of course,
so
he's
yeah, we'll just
envisioning
move on to that.
I do want to
now.
talk about the ending scene with Robert De Niro, though.
Okay.
Where, because he says his one joke about what was it, about the drunk driver?
Yeah, it was like knock knock, and then Murray, you know, he's making fun of him during this entire joke thing.
And he's like, "Oh, is this your joke?" And then he's like, "Just say it."
And so he says,
I think he's like, "I want to do it right" or something like that.
Yeah. And so Arthur goes knock knock, and Murray goes, "Who's there?" And Joaquin Phoenix, he says, we are the blah blah blah, some like emergency contact group.
Your son.
And your son was hit by a drunk driver. and
it's
he
just,
starts laughing.
Yeah, and like Conan, because of how awkward it was, you're like you kind of want to laugh because of how awkward it is.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not funny.
It's not. It's really it's twisted and
because people in the audience, not in the movie audience, but in the show audience, they all of them go like, whoa, and someone even goes, that's not funny.
Yeah, I mean it's
the old lady, she goes, that's not funny. You can't say that.
Yeah, I mean it's very uncomfortable watching these scenes, and then that's like almost like the final straw, and he just turns around and just shoots.
No, that's not. No,
isn't it?
No, because he keeps going. He says that before he says he kills the people.
Oh, that's right.
Then he says he kills people, and then it starts getting where he keeps nagging him on, and Joaquin Arthur keeps getting uncomfortable. He's like he knows what he's gonna do, and then he says, "I want to say one more joke," and then he goes, "No, we don't have enough time for that. Like we're gonna cut it." And then he just like Arthur screams. I forget what the line was. He's like, "What do you get when you put a mentally ill man in a society that beats him up and ridicules him?"
Yeah.
And then like there's like Robert De Niro's like screaming like, "Here, get it off, get it off, get it off," and people are like trying to move around, and then Arthur just pulls out his gun and I forget what he says.
He probably just says something like this.
Like this, and then he just shoots him like right in the head, and then puts it in and just sits there and stares. And, like,
you know, like he's just like almost like embracing it, almost like the madness that he just caused, and then he goes up to the TV.
Well, no, not before that. He did. Everyone run. Well, the one guy's hugging the old lady, but everyone else is running away. He just gets up, shoots him twice more, and you're just
like he obviously, like, I mean, obviously Murray doesn't deserve death.
Yeah.
But he is an awful man, and so you almost see
that as
why
oh, he did, like, he got back.
But and then those two shots.
Like, yeah, like, we're not agreeing with that.
Yeah.
But
then those two shots really, like, it's like, you shouldn't ever agree with what this man is doing. He does the two shots, and it's just, that was too far. And he goes up to the screen, and almost in a normal Joker fashion, he's about to give the speech, and it just cuts off. And once again,
what was weird?
It was almost
when it does cut off and it has the happy music. I thought that was gonna be the end of it, to be honest. But when they showed all the different TVs of all of it, they do have him going more in depth.
Yeah.
So it didn't really cut off there. I think that was just in the movie.
And I mean, you could see
it probably did cut off, but like in a later.
You can almost see from this movie, basically like the transition from the Joker,
and that we're talking about Joaquin Phoenix so much.
I know, but he's a main character, and so like you could really his motto is, "I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a comedy." It's almost like everything he does after he realizes his purpose.
Because in his notebook it says, "I hope my death has more meaning than my life," but then he realizes that
makes more sense.
Makes more sense
because it is a joke.
Yeah. So now he realizes that like there's like I don't know how to say it.
But like
he just realizes that this isn't what he's here to do. But he realizes that like I'm not here to do anything. Like I'm gonna do what I want, basically.
And so what I was saying was basically after he makes that transformation into the Joker, after he decides to live by the motto of even though I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now it's a comedy. Almost everything after he becomes a Joker is almost framed in a semi-comedic.
Yeah, of course, killing someone's not funny.
It's not
but
funny.
But in his persona, it's funny to him.
Yeah, like, since we didn't put the actor on this list, there is a shorter person, that's part of the clown group that Joaquin was working for, and or Arthur was working for, and when he kills,
he's the only one that's nice to him. There is someone that is nice to him,
and so he lets him live, but it's played in a very comedic way. He kills one of the guys,
Randall, and because of course that he betrayed him.
Yeah, and so
he kills him.
And so I'm forgetting his name, but the shorter guy.
We don't want to say certain words to describe him. There's no. You know what we're talking about.
And so he's like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do?
And he's just there, like, in fear.
Yeah, and Joaquin is just sitting on the floor, and
with
he's
like
like,
blood on his chest.
and he's just like, you
You
can
can
go. And he's like,
he slowly starts walking.
and Joaquin goes, ah, and scares him, and he's like, ah, and then it's like,
It's supposed to be funny, but it's not.
it's like, it's funny, but it's like, in a twisted way where it's like, it's forcing you to laugh.
It's
because
sort of,
the movie's almost been so serious.
It's dark humor.
Yeah,
it's
like
basically like, you laugh at it, like when you're laughing, you're like,
yeah, it's
like seeing if people are laughing with you and not judging you.
Yeah, like
That awkward laughter.
Yeah, because it's almost like this whole film is so dark that when there's any sense of like a joke, you almost automatically laugh, like to latch onto something.
Yeah,
you start to laugh,
but you don't
it's
really want to because
yeah,
it's bad still.
And it's almost like the movie is like making you laugh, like how the Joker wants to make you laugh. So Jeremy had to real quick do something, but I'll finish this statement off. The shorter guy, he then goes for the door. He tries to open it, but the lock is closed. And so he's like, he has to begrudgingly go back to Arthur and ask if he can open the door. And Arthur's just like, huh, yeah, okay. And then he does another fake scare with the door. But he just lets him out. He's like, you were one of the only people that were nice to me. And so that was probably the most Joker feeling moment in this whole film, was that scene. And so, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's it for that scene, really.
I'm back.
Okay, so now that we're done with that, which, I mean, honestly, we were constantly flipping back to Joaquin Phoenix.
But he's the main character.
He is the main character. But now we can go on to Zazie Beetz, who played Sophie Dumond, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that her character was, like, amazing.
Like, spectacular.
Because
she wasn't in it that much.
She wasn't.
She was used as a imaginary source for...
she is a real person.
Yes.
But
all of her scenes are imaginary, basically.
Two of her scenes were real.
Yeah.
The rest of them were actually just
Speaking
in his head.
of the first scene, that even got me disturbed.
Yeah, like...
And them in the elevator where,
you know,
she has her daughter, and the daughter's, like, sort of being a little annoying, saying the same thing over and over again, and she goes, like...
And she, you know, jokingly was like, oh, you know, that's annoying.
And then Joaquin, like, looks, and he's like, like, laughing. And then when and then they both walk out of the elevator and go separate ways and goes, hey, and he turns around and then Joaquin just goes,
yeah,
and it's just
like, and he does it like so over the top and like just stays there for a little while and just stares and just like those few extra little like split second or like a second, and then you see her face and she's just like almost trying to smile, but she just can't because of how terrified she is in that moment.
Actually, I realized this. A lot of that is foreshadowing. There is a lot of, like, head shooting.
Hints at him wanting to commit suicide, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
to take his own life.
And he was going to do that on the Murray Franklin show, but...
Yeah, but they wanted you to think that. The writers and director wanted you to think that. So when he actually kills Murray, it was a sort of a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Arthur almost does kill himself, metaphorically, when he becomes a Joker on that show. Like, he just forgets about Arthur. Arthur is...
that's him saying, bring me out as Joker. Like, that's his.
I mean, basically, instead of... By shooting Murray, he shot himself, metaphorically.
Yeah.
Because once he shot him, he was just Joker. And so...
back to...
Zazie Beetz.
Yeah.
But...
Her as the love interest.
I mean, like
you said, the one scene that was that was probably the most important that she was in, was a scene where he's in her house and he says, I had a really bad day, and then he stands up creepily and just walks out. Like that was her most. But she didn't even say anything.
Like, she was saying some stuff, like, just genuine, like, my kid's in there, can you please leave? Because she's terrified, because he thought she was with him. But then she says, can't you just see your mother now?
Yeah.
Even though
His mother was in the hospital
and
dying.
in his head, she was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it like clicked something inside of him, and he just like it was like this short little montage of him realizing that she was never there.
Yeah, and like and it shows him just like turn his head and just get up and leave.
It's like,
and like that was disturbing also. It's like little things that were disturbing.
Yeah, it's like it's not over the top. It's so genuine and real. It really disturbs you.
It hits home.
Yes.
Disturbingly.
So on to the next character now, since we just mentioned her. We have Frances Conroy as Penny Fleck, Arthur Fleck's mother. She
I think she
definitely at least had an affair with Thomas Wayne.
Yes.
And so it is not confirmed, but most likely Arthur Fleck is Thomas Wayne's son. Because even at the end, even like it shows adoption papers, but then it also shows a picture of Penny when she was young, and it's a picture of her, and on the back it says, "I love your smile," and it's initial TW. And so, I mean,
it's left up for imagination, for debate.
Yeah, it's like, is he or is he not? I mean, it's all up to you. And honestly, that's her main point in this whole film. I mean,
is that she's the reason that he's mentally ill, because she did not physically abuse him.
Yeah, but she mentally, and she
was mentally ill.
She sat idly by as her boyfriend or whatever beat Arthur Fleck as a child, and then she also handcuffed him to a radiator, which is something that happens in real life way too much, and so that really it pushes home that she really wasn't a good person. And
good mother.
And
during the beginning of the movie, you don't know that.
Yeah, you just see her as the really nice mom that Arthur thinks she is. We really do see all these events through Arthur's eyes, yeah.
We are Arthur.
Mm.
No.
No.
We are all
Arthur. No. And so, I mean, yeah, she was there, and she did a good job. She played it really well.
Because she also had to play someone that was mentally ill.
Yeah, she really played the oblivious, on the verge of almost always breaking.
Like, I guess dementia.
I don't know if it was dementia. She suffered from schizophrenia and narcissism and delusions of
when
grandeur.
she actually gets in the hospital, they say, the two say she went hysterical. Like, if they showed that, that would have been disturbing to see.
Probably.
And, like, do you think if they showed that scene, it would have been better or worse?
I think it would have been worse.
Really?
I mean, it wasn't needed.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't
needed. And you can tell because it wasn't needed. We saw the film. I don't think it was needed. I think it would have been pointless because Arthur didn't see that. And so, I feel...
It also was the reason that he hates our two next characters. Look at that.
Wow.
No.
Yes, technically.
Yeah, hates our two next characters. We're gonna go to that,
okay,
and then we'll go back. The two detectives, because they were in there, and they pretty much caused her to become hysterical.
So the actors are She Wingham and Bill Camp. She played Detective Burke, and Bill played Detective Garrity, and they were there.
They didn't have big parts.
They weren't huge in terms of.
But it's not like they did bad or didn't have big parts.
Yeah, so. I mean, like I was never like other actors. I mean, they very much so. They were just there. They were that character, and they did a great job.
Good job.
I mean, like nobody here. You can't. I can't see anybody criticizing the actor's job.
Like, that detective, man, he could have done better. No one's going to say that.
Like, there's just, I don't think there's any way to,
Put it,
yeah. I mean, they were there, and
they did a good job. They did their job.
they forced his hand almost.
Yeah, they were another person that edged him on.
Yeah.
So next character, Thomas Wayne, played by
Brett Cullen.
your boy. I was pointing at me for some reason. I went like that.
I'm Cullen, in case you didn't know.
I didn't.
Wow. So Brett Cullen, he plays Thomas Wayne, and yeah, he's a big old jerk in this movie.
Big ol' asshole. Which is in the comics
not true at all.
Yeah.
In the comics, he's actually supposed to be like one of the nicest guys ever. And obviously there are versions.
Yeah, but also this whole movie is different from the comics.
Yeah, I mean, they just did what they wanted to do. They did what they thought the story needed.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying new things.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want to stay to the same stereotype, same
character,
same formula.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel that the character should be changed,
it's like in a Bohemian Rhapsody where Freddie goes, "I don't want to stick to the same formula," and then the one record guy goes, "Like I like formulas." Formulas work, something like that. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's good to try something different.
Yeah, and you could tell this was made on purpose and for a reason. It wasn't unnecessary. It wasn't just there to be there. So Thomas Wayne is the possible father of Arthur Fleck and the actual father of course, Bruce Wayne. And he was just a jerk in this film. And one of the lines...
He's basically like what people think politicians are in real life.
Yeah.
They put on a show when they're like debating for office. But in real life, they're just assholes. Like, that's what... I don't know, I guess most people think about politicians.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not all true. But that's just the stereotype.
Yeah. And another thing is, one of the lines that really drives Arthur's motivation and the city's motivation into becoming clowns is his claim that oh, if you don't have your life together, if you're poor, you're a clown, and he says that on live television.
Something else that I kind of just thought of that edges it all and throughout the whole thing is when they say his mom is crazy, and like a lot of people saying he's just saying like don't say that. Don't say that. So when he figures out that she is like crazy, that he kind of just feels like I was wrong. Like,
well, Arthur does.
Well, yeah, Arthur. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he feels like I was wrong. Like wow.
Yeah, and I mean he did a great job. I mean,
Brett Cullen.
Yeah. I mean Brett Cullen did. I mean he was a jerk, but
he was a good jerk.
He was a good jerk.
So I think we finished talking about
Brett Cullen and Thomas Wayne. Yeah.
So now we're moving on to Glenn Fleshler playing Randall. Now we can actually talk more about it because we didn't talk about it at all in this spoiler talk. So Randall is one of Arthur's clown friends.
Well, friends.
Yeah, friends. Pretty much gives him a gun.
Yeah, because Arthur got beat up in the alley. Yeah, he gave
him
Arthur the gun.
And pretty much that's the reason why he gets fired, because he drops a gun in the children's hospital, which I thought was actually
kind of funny.
It was pretty hilarious.
I mean, it got you on edge. Like it got you super nervous.
Like what's gonna happen?
But then he picked it up and he's like,
"This is a joke."
It's part of a joke, and like he kind of laughed.
Yeah.
Because at this point he hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
To like.
No. Where has he? Okay, he hasn't. I thought he shot. No. Okay.
So nothing. He hadn't done anything like bad.
Yeah.
Yet.
So you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's like, oh no. You know. But then.
Oh shit.
A
gun.
So then.
Yeah. And that's the reason why he gets fired.
Yeah, and then Randall tells Arthur's boss that he heard, or basically something that made it seem like, that Arthur was asking other people for guns or something.
Yeah.
Something similar to that. So that
also something else that I just remembered, before he gets fired, when the boss tells him, it's like just to return the sign. And then, like, he just walks out and starts kicking the trash cans. I was just like, that was intense. I was like,
yeah. It was just little things. But I mean, what should we call it? So he basically puts it off all onto Arthur.
So
And-
then that's pretty much where he stops
Yeah,
for a while,
he's basically
and then randomly
gone.
he comes back.
You know, once he hears that his mother died, he is genuinely, he's like, hey, we're here to help. And I mean, at that point, Joaquin had started putting on the makeup. He had his face completely white and his hair was already green.
Like but like the audience knows, like you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we knew.
But also another shot that was in the scene where he like bends down, he lifts his face up, like that was a great scene. But and then of course this is the end of Randall because he
uses scissors to
just
kill him.
Just goes to town.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not funny.
I mean, like it's a very serious film, and like so like
you want to try to get some laughter from it, but it's bad. But you try to make jokes out of it.
So I mean, so he kills him, and I think we already talked about that's where the shorter
was that
person.
in this one or this?
That was in this one.
Okay.
Remember, because we went into depth about the killing, and so I mean that was the end of Randall.
Yeah.
So that's
that's
the end of the characters.
So now we're on to our final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Friday. Do do do.
Okay, so our final thoughts are basically the same as last time. 10 out of 10 film.
10 out of 10.
Outstanding film. I think the closest thing to a perfect film that I've ever seen.
You can get, yeah.
I mean, it's...
There's almost to none problems. If you find a problem, it's nitpicking, it's little things. There's nothing in the movie that goes, like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, like, it's not like... We personally enjoyed Glass, but there were huge problems with it. It wasn't like this film. Like, this film is so good, like, you have to nitpick to get something wrong.
Whereas like, Glass, we enjoyed it, but like, there are problems.
Yeah, and in case you haven't seen it, this is going to be a spoiler for that film. But, like, the fact that they just kill everybody.
Yeah.
It felt very, almost anticlimactic.
Yeah, like, some people are going to be fine with it. Like, I was... Okay.
I was okay with 2 out of the 3 deaths.
Yeah.
I was really not okay with the way that Bruce Willis's character died.
Yeah.
By a puddle. That was dumb.
Pretty deep puddle.
It was a pothole.
Okay.
It was literally a pothole. Plot hole. Pothole. So yeah.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 movie.
Not much.
I guess we should say what we talked more about it in our spoiler-free discussion.
But like we said,
we
like,
finally came to the conclusion that for me,
and for
as
me,
a film, a standalone film, not taking into consideration
the
events like
or
Infinity War or Endgame, like they were huge events.
Joker is a better movie.
Yeah.
Than Endgame or Spider-Verse. Or Infinity War.
That's what we decided. And personally, it's still competing for me. It's still competing for
like tops.
First with Episode 5 for Star Wars. It's still competing. So it's definitely become.
Definitely have to see it again to.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it again, to really watch it again with everything in context, and I think everything. I think there's definitely going to be stuff to really gain from watching it a second time. Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course, I'm guessing if you've seen the movie, you're here. But if you haven't, go see it.
Go see it. I mean...
It's going to go down. I think it'll go down as one of the greatest movies. But, of course, I don't think it'll get as much recognition as big budget movies. Like Endgame, but I think it will go down as a 10 out of 10 movie that so many people admired, and I think a lot of movies going forward will take things from this.
Yeah, I hope that
more movies are like this.
Some more comic book movies can really put some heart and soul into their films, and it's like I want somebody to make these films because they have a need to share their story rather than because, like the MCU. They want money. Yeah. And I mean...
And even though their movies are good.
And even though I do love their movies, I definitely feel more of that, like, this is the story that I want to tell from this.
So, I guess you could say it's not a want, it's a need.
Sorry, just that joke. But that concludes our episode. Boring YouTube stuff. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.
I'm not there.
Turn on the notification bell.
Turn it on.
So turn it on.
Can we get a congratulations? We filmed 2 podcasts in one night. We hope you guys enjoy.
I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it.
Enjoying the movie. It's fun to make these, so.
And I hope you had fun just chilling.